Hello, everyone. You're back within the Dark Radio. I'm your host, Chucky G, and this is the Hazy Radio Network. I'm about to bring on a guest and a friend of mine by the name of Luke Millett. Luke, welcome to the show.
Hey, Chuck. Thanks for having me on. It's good to be here.
Hey, thanks, man. I'm glad you came on, and we can chat about some stuff. Before I get into the normal stuff, like, ghost tapes, blah, blah, blah. Luke, I want to find out a little bit about you, buddy. Is that okay? Is that cool? Does that sound all right with you?
Yeah, that's great.
All right, cool. All right, good. All right, so what we're going to do is I was writing some stuff down about you because I write stuff down about everybody because I have Post-it notes everywhere, and they always think that's funny because I have all these notes, but it keeps me current, So you're originally from Detroit, Michigan. Wow, I can't even say it. Detroit, Michigan, is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And when did you come out to? Well, you actually live in Brookfield, Illinois, which is kind of funny because that's my hometown from 8th grade at least on. So when did you come from Michigan to here?
Well, besides from the obvious that Detroit is just not the good place to be living, we decided to just come out to Chicago for like a change of pace and kind of, I don't know, just live anywhere but Detroit, pretty much.
So, well, I mean, cause it's funny because you say, well, I live in Detroit because, well, I know about Detroit, but I mean, Chicago, they think of us as the gangster town. So, I mean, you would think you'd pick something a little more calmer like California or Florida or something like that. So it's interesting that you guys picked Chicago or Illinois. But
well, we kind of wanted to stay in the Midwest area, and we had some family out here, so we just felt that Chicago would be a good place to go.
Oh, cool. All right. And before I get any further with your interview, I just want to make sure I forgot to mention that the song you guys were listening to was Privet Earth's Forest Queen. I don't want to forget to do that, because sometimes I get caught up in what I'm doing. So anyways, okay, so you're here in Chicago, and you, when you came here, were you already doing filmmaking, or did that come after you got here, or how'd that all come about?
Well, I'd been making like short films in college for a long time before coming out to Chicago, but after I got here is when I really got inspired and motivated to like get started in some featured documentaries, and I just went with ghosts because that's what I was most passionate about.
That's cool. Did you you went to filmmaking school? I saw. Was that in Detroit or was that here?
That was in Detroit, yeah.
Okay, all right. So
you came to Chicago the day I graduated, actually.
Oh, really? Okay. And then you came out here and started doing, and you started doing shorts and stuff like that. And what do you do for a living? I mean, I know you do ghost tapes and all this other stuff, but what do you do as a job?
I'm a professional full-time videographer and editor.
And what kind of jobs do you do?
I typically get jobs like commercials or theater performances or marketing promotional material for theaters mostly.
Mm-hmm.
I do graduations, things like that.
Yeah, that's cool. Now, when you say commercials, do you mean like commercials for networks, commercials for smaller gigs, or what kind of commercials?
Independent businesses, small startup businesses.
Gotcha. Well, I saw you had a video on called Adjusted. Was that for like it's like chiropractic video, correct?
Yeah, that's another documentary I'm helping my friend Jim on. It's his movie, but he is the other guy in Ghost Tapes with me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, yeah. You're going out to the Stanley Hotel, you lucky dog. To do some shooting, do some shooting out there, and you're meeting up with Jim again, aren't you?
Yes, and not only are we doing the Stanley, but we have a couple other like surprise investigations lined up for the series after the movie.
Really? Are they out by the Stanley, or I mean, I don't want you to tell me and break all the suspense and everything, but are they out there, or are they just other places in general?
They're out there. They're around the Stanley. I've never been there before, so I'm not exactly sure how far apart everything is, but it's all kind of in the same area, yeah.
Cool. And then that's all going to be part of Ghost Tapes 2, correct? what you're
Yes.
shooting out there? Okay, cool.
Hmm.
All right, so let's since I brought that up, but before wait, I want to do one more thing before we go to that. You had another show called Two Guys Too Critical, correct?
Yes. That's a new show I started with another buddy of mine who also has a brief cameo in the first Ghost Tapes.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I watched a couple of them where you guys like talk about movies and stuff and what you like.
Oh, you saw it?
Yeah, oh yeah, I've checked them out, so it's cool. I like them. But you know, I know everybody knows you for Ghost Tapes, you know, because that kind of just like you as I would think it started out as like, you know, hey, I'm just going to put this out there and see what happens, and then it just kind of turned into this full blown phenomena kind of a thing, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe the response that Ghost Tapes has gotten.
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought it'd be a good time to try, you know, other things while we're waiting for Ghost Tapes 2 to be finished.
Right. And with Ghost Tapes, didn't you win like some award for that at some film festival, or what was that all about?
Yeah, in Salt Lake City, Utah, last year we took Best Documentary at the Salty Horror International Film Fest.
It's called the Salty Horror International Film Festival. That's interesting. That's cool.
Yeah, Salt Lake City.
So did you so I mean, was it something that you took Ghost Tapes and put it into the film festival, or did it just kind of get picked up by them, or?
Well, I put it in that I submitted it to that one, but from that one, a couple other festivals just kind of asked us to send it in, which was really cool.
Really? What other?
Yeah.
Do you remember what the other ones were? What other names of the festivals were?
I don't remember, but I know they were in Kansas.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember the name though.
Well, that's cool. So I mean, now, how many hits has Ghost Tapes had? I mean,
last time I checked, it was about 218,000.
Wow, that's a lot of hits, man. Congratulations.
And that's in just a few months. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's cool. So, all right, so it's a big thing. People are watching it. I actually watched it. I enjoyed it quite immensely, just because it wasn't atypical anything. You know, in fact, it was basically, to me, it was like, here's a guy going around trying to get answers of the paranormal and slowly kind of learning these things as he goes along. And you had some basic tools. You got to the point where you're using the tools, and then you got action with that, and then you got into a situation where you actually got sick because you were overcome with some of the things that we deal with all the time, investigations. So now you're on the Ghost Tapes 2, okay? Mm-hmm. How has your thought process changed about, because when you first did it, you wanted to know about the paranormal. So how has your thought process changed now that you've done the first one and you're going on for the second one? Is it the same? Is it different? Is your outlook or your angle different with the paranormal now, or can you kind of explain that a little bit?
Yeah, in the first film was kind of like evolution of a ghost hunter, because I've done it lots of times, in the past, but never on any. I'm not on the same level as we did for Ghost Tapes, and we both Jim and I learned so much making that. And for the second one, it's like the first one we were trying to find out, is this here? And now for the second one, it's more like, okay, we know it's here now. We need to keep pushing harder and kind of get better equipment if we can, and just catch more evidence.
And in the second one, so the first one was you on screen a lot, we ran into that guy at the cemetery, and and then you went to the theater and all that, all that stuff. So now in Ghost Tapes 2, you brought in people like Nancy Laporta, Raquel, lots of different people. Is it still you a lot on the front end of the screen, or is it more, let's focus on some of the people that are in this field doing it, or is it a little of both?
It's a little bit of both. I definitely wanted to keep me on the camera a little bit, just, because I'm the one making it, and I was in the first one, and I kind of like being on camera. But, I don't hog the screen. I definitely want to tell other ghost hunters stories too, like Rick's and Nancy's.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty equal among everyone.
Awesome. So besides Ghost Tapes, you got 1 and 2 going on, and you got the Two Guys Too Critical. Are there other projects that you're working on now, film wise, or is it this much? This is kind of like taking up all your time right at this point.
Yeah. Aside from like typical client work, Two Guys Too Critical and Ghost Tapes it's taken up everything. That's all I'm working on right now.
Right. So I'm going to go back to Ghost Tapes just for a minute, because I know we've kind of moved forward into what you're doing now, but I want to back up just a minute. So
okay.
when that situation arose where you got sick on camera because you were being affected by the paranormal activity or the environment that was changing because of what you were doing, was that a total shock to you? Did you because when you're going into this, you're thinking, I'm going to see a spirit in front of the camera, or I'm going to hear some voices. Did you even, thought process, did you even think that, oh my God, this could affect me in that manner? And then when it did happen to you, if you did or didn't, that first question, then how did you feel about the fact that it did?
Well, first off, I never would have expected anything like that I didn't know that can physically happen to people.
Okay.
I thought you could only see or hear spirits. I never knew that they could actually interact with your own energy and change how you conduct yourself. I never even knew that was possible.
Mm-hmm.
So at first, it was very gradual. It took about 15 or 20 minutes until I was at that sick point.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of kept shrugging it off, what did I eat today or something like that.
Right.
And then it just throttled. It was far beyond being any kind of normal sick. And then I was like, this is not right. What is happening here?
Mm-hmm.
This isn't normal.
And did it
it's pretty scary?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Did it once you stepped out of that environment, I mean, a lot of times when that stuff happens, even with me or one of my teammates, or, it stays with you for a while. Even when you go home, you kind of it stays with you, maybe not physically, but mentally for a while, that there's that energy that can actually, it's so powerful that it can actually change how you feel. You know what I mean? Would you agree?
Oh yeah. Because, to get the movie out faster, I capture and edit everything the day after an investigation.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And after we did the one at the theater, I did not want to look at that footage again. I really put it off for a while until I was ready to relive it again.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, because it would make you feel that feeling again and know what it felt like.
Yeah.
Now,
it's like a bad nightmare,
Right. Now, has anything happened to you since, because you've gone on other things since then? Has that ever happened to you since then, or is that the only time so far?
It happened once again while filming the second one, when I was with Rick and Nancy at a person's residential home.
Really?
It was we were all in the room, and a lot of things were happening at once. Temperature was dropping, and it was getting cold, and people were getting touched, and and then that was only for about 15 minutes, and then after it, I realized I had an incredibly painful headache, and I had no energy left.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I didn't feel like I was being attacked, though. I was just sapped of everything.
Yeah, well, that'll happen too. When you're in an environment, how it has to feed off the environment to manifest itself, whether it's audio, visual, touch, smell, that kind of stuff. There's got to be a way for it to kind of, build up its energy. So now you've worked with Nancy, who's a trans medium. How did you feel because first you were starting off, you were just doing the technical end, like a lot of us do. How did you feel about that end of it? How do you see that end of the paranormal field?
I thought it was incredibly exciting. I've been dying to work with a psychic for as long as I've been doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And we had psychics lined up to help us in the first film, and they all dropped out, vanished without a trace.
Mm-hmm.
It's really weird. So when I was working with Nancy, I was excited.
Well, what do you mean by excited, though? I mean, so you can experience that end of it, or?
Well, because I think a psychic is far more accurate than any tool we could ever use.
Right.
Because they can kind of see and hear exactly what's going on, and they just tell us.
Mm-hmm.
Where with electronic equipment, we have to make sure if it's actually working or not, and does it have batteries, and...
Right. Well, that's, yeah, I mean, because you're saying how you're feeling sick those 2 times. I mean, you were actually not doing the same thing as a psychic, but being sensitive or, picking up on that too. So, yeah, that's very true that our bodies are the best tool, and for a psychic, that's even better for them,
Mm-hmm.
So,
Absolutely.
all right, so we're on the Ghost Tapes 2 now, and you already got some stuff in the can, so to speak, correct?
Oh yeah, it's an hour finished out of an hour and a half.
Wow.
So it's 2/3.
And without, giving tons of it away, good stuff. I mean, would you feel it's the step up from Ghost Tapes, the first one?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, there have been things in the first film that I was really iffy on, like, should I call this evidence? I don't know. But in this one, everything that we're getting is I can't argue with it. It's like, that's paranormal right there. I think it's much better than the first one so far.
Are you still working with the same tools? Like, I know you had a cell sensor meter for EMF, and you're working with the same stuff right now still?
Yeah, we got the same stuff, but we're slowly getting new bits of gear.
Yeah, well, there's nothing wrong with the stuff you're using, I mean.
Yeah, the new stuff is not really working so great, but I'm just going to keep experimenting with it.
Yeah, it takes a little while. I liked the section on Ghost Tapes when you guys used the cell sensor, because I have one of those still. That's like my baby when I first started, so I still got it. But I was really intrigued by how that thing went off on you guys. Was that a theater, wasn't it? That you guys were in?
That happened.
Yeah.
It was at the theater, but then we also got more like that at White Cemetery when that guy showed up.
Right. And it would go off and then you move it away and come back and it'd be gone. And yeah, I thought that was really interesting how that thing just went totally crazy on you in the theater. So.
Well, we had more similar to that in the new one too.
Really? So, all right. So all the stuff you've been doing so far, what's this? Can you, if you can share, is there a scariest moment, or something that really just freaked you out or took you by surprise?
In the second film?
No, either one, wherever. As far as in the field in general.
That part in the theater where I got sick.
You're never going to forget that one, are you, Luke?
I'm never going to forget that, no.
I hear you. I got you. So, a little bird tells me that you're going to be working with this really cool group called, what's it called? In the Dark Investigations, I believe they're called.
Yes, I will be working with them very soon on their next investigation.
Yes, I believe you will, sir. And we're going to the Egyptian Theater. So you're going to have fun at this place.
I can't wait.
Plus, we're inundated with too many tools, to be honest with you. But we use them sparingly. Even though we have a lot, we still go by the motto, your intuition, your feelings first, and then your tools, because those are just an added part to what you do, you know what I mean? So, but you'll be at least to be able to check out some new stuff and let you play around with it. Yeah, you'll like it. So, all right. So what do you have? Is there anything, or before I actually get to that, I believe you're Catholic. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Are you like a church-going Catholic, or are you just Catholic because you were raised that way, or?
I used to go to church every Sunday, but I mean, now with work and everything, I only go on the major holidays now.
Gotcha. And because you're a Catholic and you're religious, and then you're dealing with the paranormal field, and I think they go hand in hand. Personally, there are people who would disagree. What are your feelings on that?
That's a tough question. I don't know how I feel about that.
I like to ask the tough questions, Luke. But well, I mean, because all right, so you believe in God and heaven and all that, and then you see the experiences that you're dealing with in the paranormal field, where if everything were just, hey, we all go to heaven and that's it, then we wouldn't be experiencing anything, or we wouldn't be dealing with anything. That's just my personal opinion, of course. And I was raised Methodist, so I mean, I'm not churchgoer, but I believe in a higher being and stuff. So I was just curious at what your thought process was on that. But you don't have an answer, or too tough a question?
My question is, there are unexplainable things out there, no matter what your religion is.
Mm-hmm. Good. That's a good answer. I like that. That's true. I think they kind of go hand in hand. I think there's a little bit of both that actually mesh. That is the true answer. But I suppose we really won't really know until we've left this earth. So
Absolutely.
Move on to the next thing. So, sorry. So you get done with Ghost Tapes 2. Let's just hypothetically say you're done with Ghost Tapes 2, and it's doing real good. Now, Ghost Tapes is going to continue?
Yes. Ghost Tapes will be making the transition from feature-length documentaries into a hopefully monthly web series.
Ah, okay. Well, that's cool.
And our investigation at the Egyptian Theater will be the pilot episode.
Yes. I always wanted to be the pilot episode of something, Though sometimes that can be good, Luke, and sometimes that could be bad. Sometimes they could be bad, It's like, oh, that pilot, that was terrible. So if you get rid of that guy and this girl, then it'll be a really good show. You know what I'm saying?
I think it'll turn out better than that.
I feel that I'm in good hands. Let's put it that way. I
think we're both in good hands.
Yes, I have great faith in that you'll do great. So, besides doing films and all that kind of stuff, what else do you like to do? I mean, it has to be something to do besides film. I mean, I do film and I do paranormal investigations, but you get other hobbies or anything else you like to do people might be interested in?
I'm a video game junkie.
Oh, really? And
yeah,
what
constantly playing Xbox games.
Let's get into video games just for a second. I know it's non-paranormal and everything, but sometimes I just like to talk about stuff. So, what's your favorite video game for Xbox?
Oh, geez. I don't have a favorite. I think they're all pretty awesome to play.
Really? Yeah. See, I thought you were going to go, oh, Call of Duty. I was like, no, not you too. Like my kids.
No.
Totally into the Call of Duty.
No. They're fun games, but not my favorite.
Well, if you have a 360, there is a paranormal / scary game that I really enjoyed called Alan Wake.
I just beat it.
Did you? See, it's about a writer.
That was a great game.
Wasn't it? It's like being in a Stephen King novel come to life. That's the easiest way I could put it. You know what I mean? So that's good. I'm glad you.
If Stephen King wrote Twin Peaks.
That's good. You like that. Now, I'm a PS. I have both. Yes, if Stephen King wrote games, then that would be him. He would be Alan Wake. I mean, come on, it's really based on that guy. So, but. Then I'm more of a PS3 guy, but there's this one called Deadly Premonitions, which is kind of a really weird, creepy, scary game.
Yeah, I'd love to play that.
It's a really odd.
Like a good one.
It's kind of X-Filesy, so, But anyways. So, okay, so you like to do video games. Anything else you like to do besides that? I mean, I'm assuming you go out hanging out with friends and stuff
hanging
like that.
out with friends.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now you're going out to see Jim at the Stanley Hotel. Do you still? I'm assuming that means you still stay in contact with him and such.
Oh yeah, we talk every day or so.
And is he like still doing? Because you guys were both doing. Is he still doing video too? Is that his gig or was that more or less your gig?
Which one?
Like like Jim, as far as video, like just doing film and stuff. Was it your gig and then he just kind of was part of it? Or did he go to film school and all that stuff the same as you, and that's what he does where he's at now? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that's what he does too.
Oh, okay.
I mean, asked him to tag along on Ghost Tapes because I thought he'd be good at it, and he is.
Okay.
But now, he's making his documentary, Adjusted, and so, yeah, we're both making documentaries, which is what we love doing.
That's awesome. So does he still like, so was the paranormal both your ideas too, or is that more linked to you?
It was always my idea. I've had the idea for like 10 years
And you just
before I even met him.
Gotcha. And you kind of dragged him into it and said, hey, dude, we're doing this.
Pretty much. But then, I don't know. I liked the idea a lot more after he told me he's had poltergeist experiences.
Mm-hmm. So now, all right, you're going to Stanley Hotel. Let's just talk about this a little bit because I'm still like jealous. But are you just going to be like falling into the crowd with everybody else doing the tour stuff, or have you been allowed access to certain areas other people aren't, or you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no tours.
Cool.
We I'm not going to ask them to give me a room for free, of course. So I purchased a room on the 4th floor.
Oh, okay.
And they've allowed us to film and everything. And depending on the availability of it or not, they might let us into room 217 for a while.
Ooh, that would be really good.
I hope that happens.
Yeah, that'd be good for the film. Now, I know that, because I remember watching Ghost Adventures. I'm a Ghost Adventures fan. I know some people aren't, but I am.
I've been watching it all day.
Yeah, I love it. I love them regardless. They went into there's a building that's off from the actual hotel. That's like where they keep like the old beds and that kind of stuff. Have you seen that episode?
Is that the one with like the presidential suite?
Well, no. It's like a, I wouldn't call it a carriage house or a coach house, but it's like a storage building where they carry like the beds, their old beds that they take out of the hotel. And, they went in there and did and they were only ones ever allowed into that to do an investigation inside there, because of all the articles from the hotel and stuff and the old beds and stuff like that. And actually had, Bill Chappell with them, the inventor, and they, actually got some really cool, evidence and stuff when they were in there. I was just curious if you knew about that, because if you don't and you're going there, I mean, not to say they're going to let you in there, but hey, you could ask.
Mm-hmm. If it was before season 8, I've seen it. I just don't remember.
Yeah. All right, so let's see. We got Ghost Tapes is doing crazy and still going strong. Ghost Tapes 2. When is Ghost Tapes 2? I mean, were you thinking that it's going to be finished, or don't you have time?
I'm going to be grinding for a July release.
Cool. All right, so we got Ghost Tapes 2 in July, and then Two Guys, Two Criticals is going to keep I'm assuming right on rolling with that.
I'd like to see the popularity of those go up a bit, but for a little while, yeah, we'll keep that going too.
Cool. And then, other than that, those are just the two things you're doing right now, besides still doing your normal job, which you all have to do. Yeah. So I think that's really about all that's in the works. Are there any, so we're getting towards the end of our little chit chat, but are there places that you want to put out there that, like share your wares kind of thing, like sites or things that people can check to look into your stuff or look into more about you? If you want to, you can share that now.
We finally got a decent website up and running for Ghost Tapes. It's got all kinds of info on what's going on. You can go to theghosttapes.com. Check all that there.
Cool. And then you're on Facebook too, right? If they want to look you up.
Yep. I think it's facebook.com/theghosttapes, something like that.
Now, when do you leave to go to the Stanley? When you going?
In the middle of May. So
so it's after when we go to do our investigation. So yeah. That's it. Now, when you go out there, by the way, are you meeting up with anybody besides Jim? Of course, are you meeting up with any investigation teams from that area?
No, just Jim. I don't really know anyone else out there.
You made it sound so sad, Luke. I was going to start crying. And you're like, no, it's just Jim, nothing else.
Well, now that you said it, that's a good idea. I wish I thought of it sooner.
Well, that's what you got me for, man. I help you get some ideas. See, well, you can go out there. You call Jim now ahead of time. Say, Jim, buddy, you need to look into some investigation groups in that area. They got to have somebody, you know what I mean? That's in the area that you could hook up with, and why not, right? I mean, I'm sure that anybody would be more than happy to work alongside you, and I think that'd be cool.
Well, thank you. I'll give that a thought.
No problem, man. I'll send you the bill for that idea later. But anyways, yeah, no problem. But anyways, it was really nice of you to come on and chat with me.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, not a problem. And like I said, for anybody that hasn't seen Luke's work, you need to check it out because Ghost Tapes it's very interesting. It's not like what you think. Like it's not like like Ghost Hunters or any other shows. It's different. It's just a guy's journey into looking into something that he's always really was interested in and had a passion in, and is now going to find out if some of the things he thought were true are true. Is that a good analogy of Ghost Tapes?
That's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So basically that's it. For Luke this evening. Luke, I thank you very much for coming on. I really look forward to hooking up with you in April, which is, wow, we're only like, another week or so away. And then we'll be hooking up to do the investigation, and then we'll have to see how that turns out. Because you have, it's me and Larry, our tech guy, and then we have my daughter, who's just joined the group as a trainee. So she's she's a junior trainee because, we unfortunately we lost our friend Al. So I wanted someone that I could trust and kind of knew what was already going on already. And, it's my daughter, she lives with me. So it was pretty much an easy pick. And then we have Janine, Janine's been with us a while now, but she's never been to the Egyptian Theater. So the only ones that ever been there for all of us that are going is just Larry and myself. So it'll be interesting to see. Plus, we're going to try to see if we can get a hold of Al while we're there too, see if he came along for the ride. So we'll have like a twofold thing going there. So, all right. Well, Luke, I want to thank you very much for coming on, and I guess I'll see you soon.
Yeah, it's been my pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
And not a problem, man. Keep up the good work, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, I'll talk to you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.